Cool. All right, so we are live. Sorry for the 4 minute delay there, folks. Bekah and myself have been chatting for about 4 minutes. It's the first time we stream on the OpenSauced YouTube channel. So, one, if you're visiting us for the first time, I'll do the corny thing and say, see that button, slap that, what is it? Slam that subscribe button.
Smash and
Smash it.
like it. Smash and
Smash.
subscribe.
Yeah, there you go. So welcome to the OpenSauced YouTube. We're on a live stream. I don't know if they've ever done any other live streams here. So we're kind of in bare bones mode. For those, we did these last shout outs on my own Twitch stream, but we were kind of chatting, and it really makes sense to do this on the OpenSauced YouTube channel. So we do have some branding, but there will be improved branding for the next one. This is a few things I just slapped together, but branding aside, that's it. Although branding is important, the real important thing about this live stream is we're here to give shout outs to our contributors, all the wonderful people that have been contributing to all our repositories across the OpenSauced organization. I always get mixed up with open source and OpenSauced. Cool. Now, I know before we get into the shout outs, I'm just going to drop a link. This is a recent blog post that you wrote up, Bekah. I think did you write this, was it 2 days ago or yesterday? I can't remember.
Yes. If yesterday was Tuesday, then it was yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday. So I'll let you, I dropped it in the chat if you just kind of want to speak to it. And what we can do too is I can actually just switch us to pairing view and I can open up that page. But if you just want to go ahead and just start talking
Yeah,
about.
sure. So the reason why I wrote this blog post is because there's been a lot of talk about not encouraging people to contribute to open source, which is obviously something that I don't agree with. But when I was thinking about it, and this is going to be a two-parter here, unfortunately, I don't think the second part will come out until March, and it's going to be from the opposite perspective. But the idea
Okay.
here is thinking about like the background, like why would somebody not want to encourage people to contribute? And one of the top reasons why is because of maintainer burnout. And I'm just going to give a shout out to, let me pull up my book. So this book stays on my desk because I recommend it so much. Okay, you can't read it,
Okay.
but there's, there we go. This is The Making and Maintenance of Open Source Software by Nadia Iqbal. I say her name all the time, and I hope I say it right. But anyway, it talks a lot about like the complicated history of open source and what burnout as being a major problem. And so, because I was thinking like, well, you wouldn't want new contributors if you're already feeling burnt out. And I think that sometimes like we have to think about like, what does it mean to be a positive force in the open source ecosystem? What does it mean to be a good open source citizen? And so I think that if we navigate many of these issues, then that sentiment isn't going to be reflected by maintainers out there. And so I have like a handful of sections out there talking about like, number one, read the directions. Like you should thoroughly understand what you're committing to. And I think like one of the biggest mistakes is people just want to like, I'm going to do this really quickly. I know I have that same problem. Like I'm going to do it really quickly. You're not ever going to do anything really quickly, right? Like I ran to the grocery store really quickly this morning. It was like 30 or 40 minutes. Like there were sales and stuff. So, there's always going to be something that's probably going to complicate things. Even if it's a typo, you have to read the contributing guidelines. You have to read the README. You have to know the process for all of the things that you're looking at. So you should just anticipate it's going to take you at the very least, an hour to do things. Hey, Ayu. The second part of that is checking your work. So you've read it, you've done the work. Don't just throw it out there and be like, I did it. You have to make sure that it does work, right? Because I don't know, like I've made changes plenty of times and think like, oh, this is going to make it work. And it doesn't. So, this is one of those things about going in depth. And then like as part of that, like be a problem solver. Do you know what is going wrong here? Don't depend on other people to answer the questions. Like it is your job to dig in deep and try and figure things out. Don't get scared if you get an error message. And I know like I felt that way. I came into tech within the last 5 years, and seeing that red was often really scary. But like, you have to know how to navigate those things and put in
Yeah.
the work. And then just the last section of this is about how to communicate, because that's incredibly important. And I want to say, like, if you're following these steps, not only are you becoming a good open source citizen, but you're building your credibility. If you're not following these steps, then
Yeah.
you are decreasing your reputation and your credibility, because everyone can see out there you didn't follow the steps, you didn't double check your work, you didn't listen to the feedback that was given. Like, these are all attributes that I wouldn't want to like, if I was looking to hire someone, I'd say like, well, that person isn't paying attention to detail. So
Yeah.
it's important
Totally.
that you work on these things. And if you are challenged by that, that's fine. Like, there's skills that you work on and you improve at.
Yeah, totally. And to the point about like digging in and trying to see what's up, the one thing I'll mention about that is like obviously, people have different levels of experience. So like if you're new to programming or even new to open source, like maybe you can't you basically do the best to your abilities is what I'm saying. And for somebody more senior, like I would expect them to check a lot more things than somebody that might just be starting out. But just yeah, do that investigation like Becca said to the best of your abilities. And then it's always okay to ask for help for sure, but do that due diligence, that do that first and then start asking. And you know it's also like it's getting a lot easier nowadays to basically look up for stuff like not to I haven't shaved today, but I've got some gray hairs here, but not to date myself, but like when I started working in tech, there was no mentorship. Google literally started a couple years before I started in tech. Most of the stuff, Stack Overflow didn't exist, Google Chrome didn't exist, so like most of the stuff I had to do, I was like buying books and reading it or literally just trying to figure something out. And I mean, I did kind of pair with people sometimes, but all those things weren't kind of the norm at the time. So, and what I'm getting at is nowadays, you obviously have Google, you have Stack Overflow, there's ChatGPT, there's GitHub Copilot, and like, yes, you can pay for, yeah, Copilot, you typically have to pay for, but like even ChatGPT, there's free versions. There's other AI for, doing similar to ChatGPT. So
I've been
there's
using
a,
Hugging Face Chat a lot. I find like
oh yeah,
Hugging Face Chat has been really, really solid. And I probably use that. I pay for Chat GPT, and I've been using
yeah.
it more than that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I pay for ChatGPT as well. Like the free one works well, but I was just like, this is a whole other topic, but like knowing your tools and just using tools, and I was like, AI has obviously become very prominent now, so I'm like, I'm just gonna make sure I'm leveling up. So I that's why I decided to pay for it. Um, Excuse me, I got a scratchy throat today. And side note, but before the stream, uh, so like when you have a guest on a stream, there's like a backstage and stuff, and Becca joined the backstage, and I couldn't hear her at first, and then finally I could hear her, and then she sounded like Mickey Mouse, like literally it sounded like Becca had just inhaled like an entire balloon of helium. and, and she couldn't figure out what was going on initially, and I couldn't stop laughing because she's like, I don't know what's going on, but like with a very high pitched voice. Turns out there was I think you said one of your kids put a sound filter on or something.
Yeah, so they like to play with the soundboard, and I couldn't remember how to change the sound effect, so I
Okay.
just deleted it. And like, when he comes home tonight and wants to play with it, he's gonna
Okay.
be super sad. So I don't have
Yeah,
it
yeah.
anymore, but I can sound like a small robot. Can you
Yeah.
hear me sounding
But
like a small robot?
all that to
Now I
say, I was
remember
laughing. I was
how to do
laughing
it.
historically. Okay. You want to try it or?
Did you Okay, let's see. Do I sound like a small robot right now?
Not yet. No.
No, I don't.
Uh,
Okay, maybe my mic is
just a
maybe I
regular robot,
deselected
maybe.
it. A
Okay.
regular robot? I can sound like a large robot
It
or a
did change.
monster. None of these
I
things
don't.
are working? Oh no.
Okay.
I've
Uh
broken my sound machine.
Okay. Oh well. Anyways, all I was getting at was like I was laughing hysterically for like 2 minutes before we went live, and Becca was still trying to fix it, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't fix it. What's going on?" And her voice kept getting higher and higher. And anyways, I was dying of laughter. Um, sorry to derail our whole conversation there, but yeah, this is a great blog post. I gave this a read yesterday. I think whether you're a maintainer or a contributor or just interested in open source, it's definitely worth a read. I'm gonna drop it in the chat again because I think we've lost it to the top of the chat. So let me just pop that in there. Yeah, so like we were saying, this is our first stream on the YouTube channel for OpenSauced. So thanks everybody for joining us here. We're gonna be doing these monthly like we have been before, but it's just not gonna be on my Twitch stream right now anymore because it doesn't make sense. So find us here. The subscribe's helpful because then you'll just know when we go live. And also there's a lot of good content on there. So yeah, why don't we get to what we were going to talk about? I know you have some other links you want to drop, Becca. Did you want to drop those throughout the stream, or do you
The
want to
ones
just?
that I sent you, I can drop them as we talk about them.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so like every month, again, thanks to all our contributors that have been contributing to all the various repositories in the OpenSauced org. We're just gonna we can't go through all of them. So if we miss you for some reason, just know that we do appreciate your contributions. So I'm just gonna skip through a bunch here. Not that these aren't valuable, but these are just me and my coworker Brandon. So I give him shout outs internally, but I will give him a shout out loud here too. But let's go find some external contributors. I guess we'll start here. So Arianis159 has been contributing quite a bit to the repository. So really been appreciating the improvements you've been making to the repository. This is for the app repository. So if you go to app.opensauce.pizza, so there was an issue with adding new repos to Insights on the edit page. It was triggering too many API calls. So they got that sorted. I didn't get a chance to look at this pull request, but Brandon and John, our coworkers, did. And so just wanted to say thanks for that, Arianis. And let's go through here. Okay, yeah, I see Jessica in here. Jessica is one of our maintainers as well on, I can't remember which repos she maintains. I know she's definitely on the docs one. Is there other ones she maintains or?
Yeah, she's on docs. And so I also shout out to Jessica and to IU as well, because we're working on the maintainer intro course, which will hopefully launch at the beginning of March. So right now it's in a private repository, but I'm going to be doing some changing around of things, and it should be in our intro repository by the beginning of March. So just shout out to both of them because they're doing work behind closed doors that will eventually be in open doors and everybody will be able to see it to contribute. But just because of time constraints, like we're just flying really, really quickly through getting that material out there.
Yeah, I feel that. I've been flying through feature work lately, so I'm definitely feeling that. And I also had one of the Rocks Zoa drinks just before the stream because I didn't have coffee before. Well, I had a coffee about 4 hours ago. I had to take my daughter to a osteopath appointment, so I had that. But then I got home and went to Costco yesterday. I was like, I'll have a Zoa. So not that we're sponsored by Zoa, but thank you, Rock, for your energy drink. Drink them responsibly though. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the disclaimers. Because I'm getting off track, which we have fun doing all the time. But
yes, we're good at that.
Yeah. No, appreciate Jessica with all the work she's been doing in the docs, but she's also been contributing to code, and this is one of those fixes in the code. So for folks who have worked with React 18, there's a common issue that comes up a lot, which is a hydration issue. So essentially the server side of things says this is what I rendered, and then when the component hydrates on the client side, if it's different, you get this error. So Jessica went ahead and fixed that particular one. This was when viewing the repository list component for suggested repositories. So thanks so much for that. Cool. uh, I need to almost have like, uh, I'm wondering if I can generate like a filtered list of just like external contributors. Hey, Surab. Hey, that Surab's one
Oh,
of
more
our in
hoodie.
the chat. Surab's one of our other contributors. Somewhat newer, I think, like in the past couple months. But Surab's been also doing a lot of contributions. So I haven't seen anything from you here yet, Surab. But just wanted to say thank you for all your contributions. Oh yeah, thanks for the hoodie. B Dougie, our CEO, sent me this a while ago, so it's super
It's like
comfortable.
Mr. Rogers. I'm changing into my hoodie.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Modern day
okay,
Mr. Rogers, if you know Mr. Rogers.
yeah,
Here we
yeah,
go.
yeah. I don't.
How we
Yeah, it's true. I never thought about that. I guess yeah, maybe a lot of people might not know who Mr. Rogers is if you're Gen Z, maybe. But I feel like there's a enough material out there that they probably would have surfaced, kind of like Bob Ross, like.
Yeah, very
But
like
anyway, yeah.
anytime outside of time and space.
Yeah, totally. I'm not gonna. My voice is cracking now. Maybe I've got your sound effects going on my side now. Um, not gonna go into it, but my coworker John's been doing a lot of great work, working on our API, and so it's a lot faster now, and we're using something called time series data now. So it's been super nice addition. Okay, cool. I see we have Chrissy here. Um, there's still some work to do on our emoji picker, but Chrissy and I think Laura, who's Errol 15, worked on this together. So this basically makes it more accessible. So now if you go to the like if you go to add or edit not edit a highlight, if you want to go add a reaction to a highlight, you can use the keyboard navigation so that you can focus on the emoji button to open the menu, and then it'll open, and then you can navigate with arrows. There's some other stuff I mentioned in the pull request that we can do in a follow-up PR, but it does make it more accessible, so thanks for that, Chrissy. And again, like I mentioned, I think Becca might have mentioned too, we can't go through all the contributions. So just want to reiterate, we do appreciate everybody who's made contributions. And I'm
Oh,
gonna do
I
a
want to
couple more. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in real quick because I know that we are really close to hitting 1,000 highlights on OpenSauced, and we are giving away a swag pack of OpenSauced
Oh,
gear. I don't know if
nice.
it'll be this hoodie, but if you like it, I'm trying to think. Okay, so we're at 972 right now, so that means we have 28 more. So if
Oh,
you
okay.
are number 1,000, you will be getting a pretty awesome swag pack from OpenSauced. So just something to keep in mind. I'll drop if you want to see all the highlights that other folks have posted here, I'll
Yeah.
just throw it there in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and I let's get to that 1,000 because I'm not gonna lie, wearing this thing is super comfortable. I have taken it off, but like I've worn it every day this week so far. Um, you know,
And it says
it's
something on the back, but now I can't see. I think it says OpenSauced. Does it say dot pizza?
yeah, on the
No, it
back,
just says OpenSauced.
and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure all these hoodies have been woven with the the hairs of a mane of a Pegasus, so it's like super
I'm
comfortable.
90% sure that's accurate. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty
I
much the
gotta.
best that you can get.
Yeah, I'll have to check the swag pack, but I'm pretty confident that's that. So yeah, yeah. Well, you might be relaxing in some Pegasus woven mane hair soon. So
If
yeah,
you
look
put
out for
up
that.
28 highlights
Yeah,
today, you will be the winner.
yeah. No pressure, but cool, cool, cool. I'll do a couple more, and then we'll move on to some other repositories, Becca, because there's definitely a bunch in here. But yeah, so here's another one. So this was a bug fix from I don't know their full name, so I'm gonna say okay. It's from Manikanta. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please let me know if I'm not. If you're in the chat. So this one was after you updated a list and you saved it, it wasn't navigating to the updated list. So thank you so much for that.
I appreciate it. I think I
Um,
wrote that issue. I appreciate it. I was like, where am I? It's like really nice to have the same flow across the app.
Yeah, no, totally. And yeah, I'll give a shout out to Becca too, because like she's part of the engineering team, but like a lot of stuff I've been working on, she's also been saying like, hey, what about this, what about that? And so I've been appreciating the feedback. It's super helpful for the product. So if you're in the chat, give Becca some high fives or thumbs up or claps, or whatever the cool kids are using for emojis these days that are appropriate. Um, anyways, cool. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and move on to another repo? So, is
I've
there a
got a couple
particular
there.
one?
Do you want to go to the docs? Because I'll put the links in the chat, the ones
Yeah,
that
perfect.
I mentioned.
Yeah,
So this first one, 237, this PR adds SEO keywords to the open source docs. So
okay,
that's 237.
okay.
Oh, flowers for me. Thank you. Um anyway, so this one actually required quite a bit of work. So if you look at that, you can see that there were 35 files changed. And shout out to IU, because I think IU is the one that brought this to my attention, because I don't
Okay,
know that we had very many keywords at all. And so she was like, okay, so what should we be doing with these keywords? And then
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about like reading a little bit, like, okay, what are the keywords that we're adding here? What are we supposed to be doing? And so it essentially we had almost nothing in any of our files. And so Siraj
okay,
went through and updated all of those different things. So I really
nice,
appreciate that, the work that they did there to get those up and running.
nice. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Thank you, Siraj.
We
Okay,
have a comment in the chat from Abdul Sobor. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I just want to say, like, there are a lot of good first issues I think that we have open. There's some on the docs, there's some on the intro repository, I think, and maybe even on our guest book.
yeah,
So there's lots of different places to start. So if you need
mm-hmm.
help, those are really nice places that you can get some help and support from the community maintainers in particular.
Yeah,
So it, as we IU in particular does a really great job of writing out very detailed good first issues. So if you're looking for something that might be just a text update rather than coding, it's we have some issues that are open.
okay, yeah. Yeah, and there's also not just me, but I do open up. I tend to open up issues on the app repository for good first issues. 'Cause- not because I don't want to open up good first issues on other repos, but typically that's like the main repository I'm working in. So when I come across things, what I like to do is, and I encourage others to do this. If you see something like, because there's a lot of stuff like I can definitely fix it myself, but I think like one of the things we try to do is we really want people to get their foot in the door into open source. If that starts with open source and you stay there or you go elsewhere, that's fine. But it's just getting you in the door there. So what I like to do, and then I encourage others to do it, is if you see something, obviously raise the issue. Once it's been confirmed that it's like a bug, it's really great if you can outline the literal steps for a good first issue. So there's this spelling mistake, or this button is disabled when this happens. It's in this file. Change this line to this. And it's just, we want people to get that win. And, obviously, and also, speaking of good first issues, they really are supposed to be good first issues. So if you've already contributed to one of the repositories, and you're like, okay, I want to do this one now. If it's a good first issue, we don't have anything in place at the moment. I'm working on this. It's just I've had other priorities at the moment. But if you've already contributed to one of the repositories and it's a good first issue, leave it for somebody else that hasn't, because it lets them get a win and become part of the community and just start contributing. So
Yep, 100%. I threw a couple of links in the chat, so you can join our Discord. The link is there, but it's discord.gg/OpenSauced. And I just want to point out that there is a good first issues channel there. So I think that any of our repositories that have a good first issue, it will
Yeah.
automatically drop into that particular channel. So you can
Okay.
always be the one to check that out first.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't see the links you dropped in the chat. I'm not sure
I see
why, but
them. Are you looking
maybe
on YouTube?
I'm in the backstage of the stream on YouTube, so maybe there's
Oh,
something different there. But
huh.
okay, no, that's perfect. I'll maybe I'll go to the direct YouTube channel to see.
Yeah, hopefully you
The,
can see the things that I dropped.
y- y- okay, yeah, I still don't see them, but if you see them in the chat, then that's fine. Maybe did you drop them like a way before? No,
It's like
I
5
saw the
up.
I see the burnout one, and that's the only link I
You're
see.
looking on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on the OpenSauced channel. Like I see a bunch of comments from Hijabi Coder and Abdul Sabur and Surab, but nothing from
Yeah,
you
mine should
except
be above
for
that. Okay, can anybody verify that you can see the things that I've dropped in the chat? I dropped
it.
a couple of links there.
It could
Oh, I
be
wonder, can
that
we not drop links?
okay, the links aren't there. Yeah, no, I think maybe I'll drop them in because maybe it's just like a excuse me, maybe it's just an administrative thing. Like I think normally when you drop a link, it'll just it'll put it as text, but I'm not sure why. I'm gonna
Yeah, it
drop
is text. It's
the
not an actual link, but
yeah.
huh.
I'll drop them because I'm running the stream right now. I'm logged in as the OpenSauced account. So let me just try and drop them here.
Oh, okay, so
Oh,
this is interesting. If I look at top chat, it's included in there,
oh, okay,
but
interesting.
live chat, it isn't.
Okay, I'm in the top
What?
chat, but okay, I just dropped one link here. Okay,
Can you see the one I just dropped now?
not in the live chat. No. Um,
Huh.
it's weird because you should be a manager too of the channel, but maybe it's anyways.
So I'm not
I'll go
signed
and
in with my OpenSauced account because they wanted me to create a channel before I could post. So I signed into
okay.
my personal account. So maybe it has to do with that.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna drop a
So
couple of the PRs. Oh, you know what?
can
I'll
you,
just open them.
Nick, you drop here. I'll put it in I don't even understand how this works. Video Ninja, I dropped a link to the
Okay.
Discord. Let's make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
that we have the link to the Discord dropped in there.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do. Da, 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 da.
Sorry,
Yeah,
everybody. Like Nick said, this is the first time we're doing this on the Open Sauce channel, so we are working
yeah.
out the things.
On Twitch, it allows you to do that. So okay, there we go. It's I think it's just a little stricter on YouTube. Just and
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense. It's like a moderation thing because like who knows what people drop sometimes. So, but anyways, here's the Discord. Feel free to check that out. And I'll go through I guess the links you sent me. Those were some of the
Yeah.
PRs we wanted to give shout outs to, right? So, um, so this
Um,
one here, it's on the screen. Do you want to speak to this one, Becca?
yeah, let me take a second. Just look at this.
Yeah.
Adjust the wording in the contributing guide. Okay, so this is one of our beginner repos for folks, I believe. Yeah, the guest book. And so we have an
Okay.
intro to open source course. And in that course in chapter 5, it gives you practical application. How do you
Okay.
make your first pull request? So this is like a really good one for anybody that's not done it before. It's very friendly. But some
Mm-hmm.
things needed to be updated because they weren't exactly clear. And that's one of the challenges of writing for people who are beginners is making sure that we clarify everything and that it really gives you a step-by-step instruction into how to complete something. So this
Okay.
one just makes a lot of the different things clearer so our contributors can follow along and they can get their first pull request.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, I'll open up another one. I don't think we looked at this one yet. I'm just going off the list you dropped in Slack
Okay.
to me. Okay. Oh, I know Hyman Tika. Well, I know her. I know them from Twitter.
Yes.
We yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty excited
So
about
she
open
actually,
source.
I think, is a developer advocate at Hashnode.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah.
Shutu adds image and instructions on how to get a dev card. So actually, Nick, I think both you and I had this feedback when we were on different podcasts
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever, where people were saying like, "Oh, that dev card looks really cool." And actually, if you could pull up the dev card, that would be really great.
yeah, cool.
So this is giving some instruction, and we try and like keep our docs updated to make sure you can see like what are all the features that we're doing at OpenSauced and how can you access those features. And so we realized that it wasn't really clear. And actually, I think since I've started, how you get your dev card has changed as well. So getting
Yeah.
your dev card, it's a pretty cool thing. You can share it with other people. You can get an overview of the things that you've been doing and working on. And so we wanted to make sure that it was clear to anybody who was interested in getting their dev card how they can do that.
Okay. I think there's I'm gonna go on beta just because I was testing something before in production. But yeah, the why is this not loading? Okay.
Yeah, so
It's
basically,
the
if you go to your profile, you should be able to access your dev card. And we could
ah.
actually pull,
This is
pull
I'm on beta right now. But okay, so here's beta's a little slower. It's just I know they just did a quick tweak in production, so I just went to beta instead. But yeah, so sorry, go ahead, Becca.
I was gonna, well, I can't drop the link in, but if you
Oh yeah.
go to our docs.opensauce slash or opensauce.pizza, you can see in the features section that there's dev card. So it shows you how to do that. Oh, okay. And so you see that like little card next to Nick's face in his profile there. If you click that, it shows you not just your dev card, but other people's dev cards. So you can kind of explore who else is in the community and what have they been up to.
Okay, yeah. So if we come here, so that's here, right? I think, yeah. I probably shouldn't have been doing this in beta, but okay, so it's here,
Yep.
and then you can share it, right? Onto yeah. So you can come
Yeah,
here
and so
if
there's
you
a
want
front
to
and the
share.
back of the card. So if you click it, you can see what's on the back of the card. But
Okay,
Nick is
cool.
going to share his. So that's
I
cool too.
no,
You can.
no, I'm not gonna share it right now. But I didn't realize you could flip the back. I honestly didn't know that until just now.
And you can click through. So you don't have to just look at your own. So if Nick clicks any of the cards behind him, he can
Okay.
see what other people are up to as well. And I think actually it's fun. Our 404 page has a bunch of cards like, oh, we haven't
Oh
found the
yeah,
page, but while you're here, you want to see what everybody else is up to. And it's pretty cool.
yeah. Here we go. Yeah, that's neat. That's my coworker. Oh, there's Arianas. Shout out to Arianas. Uh, cool. Yeah, today I learned there's a back of that dev card. I've been here for almost 6 months and I didn't know that. Cool. Um, awesome. Okay, let's grab the next pull request here.
I keep clicking the wrong emojis to all these responses, so just ignore me if they don't make sense. I like didn't even know that you can respond to YouTube live chat with emojis until today. And now I keep clicking
Oh,
100%
okay.
for everything. So
Okay, cool. Surab's saying in the chat that Haimantika is at Haimankita, I think I'm not so sure if I'm saying that correct. They were at App right before, so cool. Yeah, okay, so this looks, is this the one we already looked at? Yeah, it
we
is,
did
eh?
that one
Okay.
already, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, let me grab the next one. And again, like I said, we can't possibly cover all the contributions in an hour, but we're trying to just, so shout outs to everybody in general, but we'll get through a few more here. So this one, I guess talk about the guest book again. Like, what's the purpose of the guest book?
Yeah. So the guest book is a place that's really great for you to get your first contribution. So this is a little bit different than if you were navigating any other open source repository because all of our instructions are in the intro course, which is
Okay.
intro.opensauce.pizza. But there's also an open source repository for that thing. So
Okay.
if you go through there, this is in chapter 5 and it walks you through the directions. So currently we're working on an issue to remove some of them. Right now you can add yourself manually or using the CLI.
Okay.
which is fine, but we're going to remove the directions for manually just to make it easier to review the PRs because we found there's been a lot of errors when people add themselves manually.
Okay.
And then from the guest book, we also have a repository called the Pizzaverse. So that's kind of like we want to create a clear contributor journey for people who are
Okay.
brand new and then build them up throughout our repositories. So guest book would be first. You're signing your name. You're just adding some things in the terminal. There are directions for that. If you want to
Okay.
work on creating a PR by cloning and forking a repository, creating a commit message, the Pizzaverse would be really good for you. And then you can
Okay.
move on there to Docs or App or AI or any of the other repositories that we have.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. So to Tamale1, which is their handle, I guess. So they added themselves there. So cool. Cool. And this
Yeah.
is like
And so
a nice. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just you walk through. So there's a CLI tool, there's a command that you run in your terminal that lists all of the different things that you can select. What are the things that you do in coding? Do you do documentation? Do you do community work? So you go through and select all of them, hit
Okay.
enter twice, and then it's ready to add you to the guest book.
Okay. Cool. 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 Awesome. Somebody who is asking about the new workspace feature. I can show a little bit of it if folks want, but I think we have a couple other uh, contributions we want to go through. I think I might have
I think
missed one.
I
Did
think we
we
have all of. I think we got through all of them.
did we get this one here? Oh yeah, we did. Hi Mantika got this one. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I guess that's all of it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
because we
do a
initially planned on this being a shorter stream, because I was
yeah.
supposed to have a podcast after, but
Yeah.
um, oh, let's talk about workspaces.
Yeah, sure. I can load it up. So this is in beta. So our beta app runs slower than production. So bear with me. But I mean, not that it's like comes to a grinding halt. That's not what I mean. But it's not production. Is what I'm saying. So so it's not complete, but essentially we have this concept of workspaces now, and this will um, what's going to happen is everyone's going to get a personal workspace, and so you'll end up with this new view, which is the sidebar, and you can still have your repository insights and your contributor insights. And um, as somebody as a non like a personal workspace is available to everybody, even if you're not a paying customer. But the other workspace stuff is for paying customers, and it's because like a larger company might want to track several things. So you can basically just create a workspace, and you don't have to put a description, but you can also add some repositories. So basically, people want to be able to track some repositories based on their organization or their company. There's a second part to this, like where enterprise customers will be able to import repositories through a GitHub organization instead of having to literally search for like, I don't know, 10,000 repositories to track. They can like just bulk bring them in. But for now, for the first part of the MVP, I did the repositories searching by individual ones. So if we look for like Kubernetes, which is my go-to demo, you can go ahead and pick a few here. And whoops, I'm typing too fast here. This part I'm still working on. The search is a little finicky, but it's not production ready, so I'm testing that out still. But let's just go with the one. You can track a repository, and then you can create a workspace, and then you get redirected to this dashboard. And again, the dashboard part, this is something for paying customers. But again, to reiterate, as an individual user who like might use the platform for putting their highlights, having a having like your landing page and stuff, you'll still get a personal workspace for yourself. But if you do happen to want something more enterprise grade, if your company is interested, definitely go for it. So I'll load up one that I have that I've been my Testaroni, which is my go-to test name as well. So here's several repositories. And what's cool about this is you get to see some stats. These are real-time statistics. So These are we're using something now which is called the time series database. So this is this is real GitHub info that's almost instantaneous, and it's for the past 30 days. And these summaries here of pull requests and issues, they're based on all the repositories that you tracked here. So you can see it's 30 days. If I switch it to like 7 days, you're going to see the numbers change. And again, I'm in beta, so it's a little slower. But you're going to see here the numbers have changed, the number of PRs, everything. There's the number of stars. This is we got some feedback on this. The stars here, what we're going to do is this is showing the total stars currently, and I think it's showing the total forks as well, which is still like a useful metric. But I was talking with BekahHW. He gave some feedback that it would probably be more beneficial, for example, for the engagement. If I switch to 30 days, how many people have starred these repositories in the last 30 days versus seeing like the total of all time. So that's something that it'll probably change. But this is like the beginnings of it. This is like the MVP. I've got some other things to do in here, but this is kind of like a sneak preview, I guess. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that, Bekah, but this is like fresh out of the pizza oven. So
yeah, I think it's great. I'm super excited to see all of this coming together. I'm really enjoying looking at the health aspect of the workspaces and being able to see what it's looking like. So I know I'm eagerly awaiting. I've got a series that starts tomorrow, 29 days of open source alternatives. So I'm definitely going to
yeah,
be utilizing some screenshots for that blog post series.
yeah, I found yours popped up yesterday. Where the heck is it? Yeah, there's the burnout one, but this one here. This is also a discussion. Encourage you to check it out. I'll drop it in the chat. I don't know if you want to speak to this one, Bekah, or
Sure, I can. It's just a discussion post, so there's not that much
yeah,
there, but just
yeah,
looking at and exploring like different segments of open source. And so this is going into part of that series that we're going to navigate like different aspects of things, but looking at like, okay, we have software as a service or SaaS products, and why might you want to use a SaaS product rather than using a proprietary product, or what do you get out of that,
yeah,
and how can you engage, or how can you judge the health of a project because it's an open source project. So
yeah.
actually that post right there, so 3 of those I already had on my list. So cal.com, I just started using
Mm-hmm.
Documenso, and what was the last one? Dub. We use dub.co for a lot of the different content pieces that we put out there. So three
Yeah,
out of those 6 were already on my list and things that I'm familiar with.
yeah. I'd heard about plausible.io, but I've never used it. But yeah, dub.co we use, like you said. I looked at cal.com last year. I'm currently on Calendly, but and I have all these workflows in place, so I'm
Mm,
considering switching, but I have to like because I use it to like book my streams and stuff. So I have to. I guess I basically have to check it out and wait till my Calendly subscription expires and see if it offers the same level of stuff that I need. I think it does.
yeah.
And funny side note, but like we're both in Virtual Coffee, a community that Bekah created, and Joe Ayung, I forget his last name. It's escaping me. It's a fellow Canadian. He's in Sudbury, Ontario. Got to hang out with him in Montreal and at a conference last year. But he works at cal.com, so
Oh, no
just a
way.
little small
I
world
didn't know
kind of thing.
that.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Oh, I see. Chrissy had a question. Will the workspaces be a free feature? So I mentioned this, I think, before you just you hopped on the stream, but everybody's gonna have a personal workspace. But some of the features I was showing, like that dashboard, that's reserved for paying customers because it's a more of an enterprise feature. But you'll have a personal workspace, which will be, think of it kind of like your Google Drive or your Notion landing page of OpenSauced, I guess, to some degree. Um, so that hasn't shipped yet. We have it behind a feature flag. So currently, it's just our team that can see it in production. Um, Oh yeah, Linear is a good product. Yeah, I've heard about it and I haven't used it, but is Linear, I think, a replacement for stuff like Jira? I can't remember what Linear is for. I think it's for issue tracking.
A better way to
Uh,
build products. Issue tracking,
okay,
you'll enjoy using. They say you'll enjoy it.
okay, okay. Yeah, could check
Also,
that out.
it's Chrissy's birthday, so shout out to Chrissy. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. Here's a piece of virtual cake. Um, I don't know. That's all I got. Yeah, drop some birthday emojis in the chat if you can. I think I can throw out I can throw a cake in there. Cool. Yeah, as we mentioned, this we're almost at time here. Going forward with the shout out streams, we're going to be doing it on the OpenSauced YouTube. So if you want to get notified when we go live, we'll say it again. Smash that subscribe button. Like the video. I don't know. Smash all the buttons. We do appreciate the follows, and there's also a lot of great content on the site if you haven't been to the YouTube channel before. BekahHW interviews a lot of people, so there's a lot of and there's podcast episodes that they get recorded on video first, and then I think they also become podcasts. But lots of great content out there. I know there was a couple I caught recently, like Leon Noel from 100 Devs was on. So definitely check out all that content. Um, Definitely, if you're new to OpenSauced, check out the app if you want to go ahead and create your own profile there, and you can get started with adding some highlights if if you've done some contributions. They don't have to be to OpenSauced. It's any open source contribution, and I'll let you just mention again that we're trying to get to 1,000 highlights for what, Bekah?
Well, whoever makes our 1000th highlight on OpenSauced will receive a pretty sweet swag pack from us. So I think, what did I say? We need 28 more to get to 1000. So
Yeah.
um, definitely can make that very soon.
Yeah. And Chrissy was asking why we're on the YouTube. It's uh, yeah, I was previously doing it on my own Twitch stream, but it didn't really make sense. Like I had no problem doing it there, but it just makes more sense that we do the stream on the OpenSauced YouTube channel, because if they had a Twitch channel, maybe I'd do it there, but the YouTube's here already, so that's why we're over here, and it's also making people aware that the channel exists too. So there's that too. Cool. Yeah, I guess we can wrap it up there. Just big ups to everybody again, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing Bekah's sound effects go wrong again in a call, because that's probably the
I can't
hardest
even
I've
make the sound
laughed.
effects work anymore.
Yeah, it 100% made my day. I was laughing hysterically for 2 minutes before we went live. So, um, for folks who just joined or joined recently, she literally sounded like she had inhaled an entire balloon full of helium and was getting frustrated because she couldn't turn it off, which made it worse for me because I kept laughing even harder. So, anyways, appreciate the laughs to start the day. Much appreciated. Cool.
Yep.
I guess
Thanks
we can
everyone
end
for
there.
being here. We'll be back in the end of the month, last Wednesday of the month in February.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And yeah, aside from that, stay saucy, friends, and we'll see you later.